Hey everybody, this is Midnight Update. I'm Seamus Byrne. Welcome to Tuesday, 7th of April. Digital TV and the Freeview revolution have been grabbing the digital headlines, but we shouldn't forget the airwaves are undergoing their own slow, lackluster transition to digital radio. Having ignored the whole thing as much as possible so far, I've noticed there's now a great set of stories over at Gadget Guy Online that's going to get you up to speed with a solid FAQ on what the heck is going on, plus a roundup of the first batch of hardware to let you tune in. Naturally, I've got a link up in the show notes at midnightupdate.com. Ben Grubb from TechWired Australia is now freelancing for news.com.au, and he has coverage of a mobile clarity report that shows that the whole mobile coverage thing has been overstated by Telstra, Optus, Vodafone and Hutchison. That's 3. Seems population coverage has been measured by things like hitting the centre of a small town in a remote area and claiming all residents of the town are covered, no matter what the reality may be. Now the report shines a bit of a light on its own version of what the actual population percentages are. Mobile clarity suggests Telstra is closer to 96% than 99%, Optus more like 83% than 96%, Vodafone more like 51% than 80%, and Hutchison try 21% instead of 60%. Ouch. There's a link to the story in the show notes. So their own coverage might be complete shite, but 3 Mobile will update its roaming partnership with Telstra to include NextG network, and details have emerged thanks to the fine folk at Whirlpool. The new deal is expected to kick off later this month, and your phone will obviously have to support the 850 MHz spectrum that is NextG. But it does give you much better data experience if you absolutely have to have it wherever you can get it, but for some reason you won't want to switch to Telstra. Now you're going to have to expect to pay 50 cents a megabyte on top of your usual X series or broadband plan, with a few megabytes of reprieve thrown in before you get charged like a bull. But when you got to get online, you just got to get online, right? Something not recommended when you're roaming on NextG is turning your phone into a Wi-Fi hotspot. But 3 is launching a new $10 upgrade for Nokia users called 3Spot, which will let your phone share its access over Wi-Fi. It's actually a pre-configured version of the great Joikuspot, which is also available for free. So why pay when you could get it for nothing? I think because lots of people would rather pay $10 and have it work than go find it and download it and have to set it all up, make sure it works and all that kind of thing. Makes sense to me, but then I have also used Joikuspot, so I wouldn't be needing to pay. Blackberry App World is now live, but apparently only if you're in North America or the UK. It seems that after we got all excited, us Aussies are now actually scheduled for later. Well, colour me lucky because I happen to have App World running on my Blackberry Bold, and it works a treat. Purchases all run through a PayPal account, so there's been no problems at all buying apps instantly. So let's have a bit of a closer look. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Yeah, it's looking not too bad. You can see there, it's showing off a lot of the featured applications across obviously a variety of categories. And then you've got categories here, which if we pop in there, you can see entertainment, games, maps, navigation, music, videos, news, weather, all your kind of standard sort of groups, with everything from hundreds to, I guess, tens in a lot of these categories. Then you've got the favorites, top downloads category, which is pretty much the same as the featured category at the moment, but a lot of cool stuff in there. And then you can search, and then My World is the last tab, which lets you show off, well, I guess, quickly get to all the apps you've bought or downloaded through the service. So it's really quite slick. It's a nice setup, and the browsing experience is pretty quick. You know, I'm browsing over the 3G network here right now, not over my Wi-Fi. So you can see it's a pretty good experience all in all. As per iPhone, browsing a truckload of apps with direct download is pure gold. And I think App World really does negate one of the great iPhone advantages, except on the price. There's a fair bit of free stuff, but most apps are running around $3 to $5. That includes like dumb fart apps, and then up into the teens and 20s and beyond for much more serious stuff. It's not exactly conducive to impulse purchasing in the same way that 99-cent style pricing is. But the pricing aside, iPhone now just really has two main weapons left. It's got an elegant interface and I think the UI design culture itself, because many BlackBerry apps really do look like arse. And multi-touch. Now I've been spending a lot of time with the BlackBerry Bold lately, and I have to say I'm really starting to go from like to like, if you know what I mean. Also on the BlackBerry front, RIM last week launched the BlackBerry Curve 8900. It's like a little trim, slim version of the Bold. As you can see, the first thing that struck me, again I'll come up a bit close, is that the trackball is now a little black rubber sort of nozzle, a little bit more rugged than the more traditional white plastic ball. I think this thing is probably going to last a little bit longer. But apart from that, I think the overall build quality is a little bit behind the Bold. The Bold feels like the executive model, whereas the Curve is sort of for the broader market, obviously. But it also, even though it's slimmer and trimmer, it does have a slightly higher res screen. We're talking 480 by 360 for the Curve versus 480 by 320 on the Bold with its larger screen. But the screen really does look the goods. It's a very, very pretty look. Also, the keyboard may be narrower, but it actually does feel better to use because of the way the keys rise up. They've just got their own little style to them that I actually find easy to use. Overall, I think the Bold is the kind of thing that's going to fit a suit pocket best, while the 8900 is going to suit those of us who are more likely to be wearing jeans. That's all for tonight's update. Thanks for stopping by. Join us weeknights around midnight Sydney time for Daily Geek News, and for more coverage, visit midnightupdate.com.